It's a total and utter mess down here. Time to get it sorted. And boom. That's much better. Okay, so today I wanted to do a little update of what my plans are for this channel, how I want to grow it, what I want to do in terms of scheduling and videos for the future. So I've already got quite a big list of videos that I want to make, and I guess the overarching theme really is that because this is all about making the aquarium shed a reality, I want to make videos that talk about how to make fish keeping accessible. So the idea is that these tanks are going to be really cheap to run and really simple to maintain. And I'm going to use a lot of the videos to show you how I'm achieving that. So you'll have already seen some of the stuff I've done with the corner filters, where I resting sponge filters on top of biological media, and they should be really sort of maintenance free. I'm talking like I'm planning on maintaining those maybe once a year. Some of you might think I'm mad saying that, but I'm pretty confident that we will achieve that. There's a huge amount of bioload in that corner unit. The sponge filter is massive for the size of the tank. So things like that, really, things that kind of show off how you can do this hobby without it breaking the bank, and how anyone, no matter what your time constraints and how much cash you've got in the bank, how anybody can get involved. But today I thought I would just talk you through a few of the videos that I've got upcoming, and then show you the fish basement in all its glory. I say all its glory, I mean it's not the most stylish of places. It's pretty grey, it's pretty small. But it is nonetheless the starting block for what will hopefully be something much bigger in the future. It's only 2 tanks. I'm going to have another tank coming soon, a cube tank for that bit there. Up here would fit 3 of those cube tanks if needs be, but for now, I'm just going to concentrate on having 1 more up here. So the plan with that cube tank is to bring a lot of the fish from upstairs downstairs. Well, in fact, all the fish from upstairs downstairs, so that I can change the main tank upstairs into a Lake Malawi Cichlid tank. So Blondie, my Albino cubensis, a bunch of other tetras, the cherry barbs, the 1 pounder pisto, I haven't got a clue who he is, I picked him up for £1, and a variety of other fish, the cories, etc., will come down and live in this cube tank, which is on order. And I'll do a video about setting that tank up and how we plan to scape it. I've got some plans already for how I'm going to scape that. And then there'll be a nice video as well about my plans for the Malawi Cichlid tank. And the idea is with that one is that I make that incredibly maintenance free. Very light on planting, just a nice stone scape, maybe some Java fern and some Amazon swords, but nothing crazy. And make that like a feature tank. That means that I am not constantly making a mess in the dining room, and I can live a happy home life where the majority of the fish mess is down here in the basement. But also it'll look awesome. A Malawi Cichlid tank with mbunas, yellows and blues mbunas. I think will look pretty cool, and I'm really excited about sort of watching them, overstuffing that tank like you should, and kind of making it look like a real centerpiece for my hobby, so that I can concentrate on kind of pottering and different kind of ways of filtration and aquascaping, etc. down here. So the plan for the channel is to bring out a video once a week. I'm going to aim to do that on a Tuesday, about 3 or 4 p.m. UK time. That's about 10, 11 a.m. New York time for all the people watching in America. And the plan is that I have a mixture really of breeding videos, tank updates, aquascaping updates, and lots of kind of tutorial videos around how I am making this really cheap to run. Everything down here is run off of an air pump, and it's pretty cheap. We'll actually show you the spreadsheet at some point as well that I've been putting together, explaining how much it's costing to run everything down here, because it is crazy cheap compared to some of the big tank setups that you can get. And in fact, you can compare it to the tank upstairs, which is running a Fluval 306. All the stuff down here is a fraction of the price to run. Yeah, so a mixture of videos really, and a few kind of breeding videos, species-specific videos, videos about my individual fish. Blondie the albino crebensis is going to make an appearance next week. And yeah, basically just taking you on a journey of how to make this hobby accessible to everyone. That is my plan. So today I am just going to show you around the fish basement, show you some videos and pictures of what it looked like when it was really dank and horrible down here, and kind of talk you through what I had to do to make it habitable, get it to the state where it is today, where I can actually potter about down here and make these videos and mess about with fish. So yeah, I will take you on a tour of the fish basement now.
So obviously the exciting bit of the fish basement is the fish tanks. There's no denying that, but I know that a lot of people are also interested in how you kind of get something like this set up and what you need to put in place to make it work. So I'm just going to talk you through all the various different things. Number one, make it look nice. So I have lots of fake plants down here. Just gives me a little bit of a sense that I'm not down underground, feeling a bit kind of devoid of any real light, etc. Second thing is plenty of storage for all of the stuff that you need to do this. So these are from IKEA and they're really useful for kind of hanging up your tools, keeping things like handy toothbrush, magnifying glass, always have a little spoon on hand for kind of picking away at things, fish food, these little containers that you get whenever you order a curry, really bloody handy, things like sponges and aquarium tests and cleaning fluid for the glass, pH tester, which I'm actually yet to use, maybe I'll make a video about that actually, and then plenty of storage down here as well. So down here I'm relatively organised into kind of, well, I say relatively organised, that is just your random bits and bobs kind of things. So things like that there is the black sheeting for the back of tanks, there's a load of old tubing in there, etc. This here is spare filters, so when I bought my 306 upstairs I got a job lot of other 206s and 106s and I've kept them, they all work, so they're kind of like backups if you like. It was just a great deal. I got like 4 filters for I think 70 quid, so that's pretty good. And they're, but you know, obviously I could use them down here, but they are really expensive to run, so the idea is with this that I run this off air pumps. Keep my filter media in here, keep all my kind of less often used pills and potions, so kind of things like Escher 2000 and things like that that are there if anything should go wrong. That's general kind of food, feeding and that kind of thing, and this is kind of general scaping supplies. I also always keep my trusty pot of CKM products down here. Tend not to bother putting those away because they go up and down between the upstairs tank. So I have a air filter down here as well. This is just a Bionaire air filter. It's on a smart plug. Everything's on smart plugs, so the lights are on smart plug and the air filter's on a smart plug, so that comes on. It comes on for about half an hour before I think I'm going to be coming down here. So it comes on just before I finish work, so that by the time I come down here it's nicely on. It comes on really early in the morning, so that when I come down and feed the fish, it's been on for maybe half hour or so. Yeah, it's just sort of scheduled to kind of just do half an hour stints before I'm down here, just to generally just kind of purify the air. I don't know if it's doing anything really, but I'm kind of hopeful that it's keeping me a little bit healthier, being down in a stuffy basement. The air pump here is an Hohem Air 2000 or 200, sorry. That is just hanging off of a nail into the wall there. And obviously being above the 2 tanks below means that I don't have to really worry about any kind of accidental siphoning, but I am going to use that for this tank up here as well, so I will have to bring another line up for the filters in this tank. I also have a kind of workbench over here, which is essential really for lots of the bits and bobs that I get up to, and for generally kind of looking after this house, which is a sort of old Victorian house that's constantly got DIY to be done in it. In fact, I probably should be doing DIY now rather than doing fish videos, but there you go. So just general toolkits, etc. These are my lights. I won't concentrate on them too much because they'll probably blind you, but they are kind of really useful for making videos because they just give a little bit more light off here, and they run off of battery packs, so super handy. Over here I have made a nice little shelf in what was an old coal chute, and just decorated at the moment with a couple of plants and my tropical fish encyclopedia. Nice picture of some pistogrammas here. Yeah, and just generally it's just a nice place to kind of come and potter. I've also put some rubber flooring down, so it's nice and squidgy and bouncy down there, and just means if I do drop anything, it doesn't kind of crack onto the concrete floor. So that's the main sort of fish bit, but equally as important really is the rest of the basement, because when you'll see the videos before, which I'll probably snap to you in a little second, you'll realise that this was pretty terrible, and the main reason it was pretty terrible down here was because at the end down here, which I've lit up with another one of my handy lights, was another coal chute. Now that coal chute goes out to the street, and you could literally see light through there. So there was just a big hole at the bottom there that over time the water had come pummeling down, and there just was no floor whatsoever. So I have had to do a lot of cement work over here, and then a tanking slurry, and then outside there's a tile that sits on top of the old chute, and it's all sealed with waterproofed cement. So if I hadn't done that, I'd have a very damp basement still. And because I did have a very damp basement, I am currently constantly running a dehumidifier down here. So this Miko dehumidifier kind of runs 24/7 at the moment, and it's bringing my humidity down. So I have a humidistat here. You can see the low and the high, so it's still not kind of completely come down, although the reason that's quite high at the moment is because I had forgotten to empty it for a day or two, so it had got quite high. It's normally sitting in the late 50s, as you can see. That 57 is kind of, I'd say, average really, and it's kind of a low and a high of 17 and 18 degrees down here. That's mainly because I have all of the heating supply for the rest of the house down here, so all these pipes get really hot, keeps it actually quite warm down here. Obviously I also have a nice supply of wine down here. So, you know, why not? Well, if you've got a basement, you should definitely put some wine in it. And plenty of storage down here, using the same racking systems. And that's a good point, actually. So these racking systems are really sturdy metal shelving units that kind of customizable in all different sizes and configurations. And every single shelf will hold 275 kilos. So you can sort of work that out roughly. These are 255 litre tanks. So a litre of water weighs a kilo, plus the glass, etc., and all the rocks. You're probably talking, well, you've got 110 kilos of water on there, plus rocks, plus glass, etc. So probably not getting much past 150, 160 kilos. So, you know, a good 100 kilos under what that shelf could hold. Similarly up here, I'm going to have 3 30-litre cubes eventually. Just one for now, but 3 could fit up there. So that would be 90 kilos of water. So plenty of room for manoeuvre in terms of weight. So that's it really. The other thing is that there is space over here if needs be, that I could have one more rack one day, but that's a long way off. And yeah, just kind of taking you on a little kind of journey really. I think the fish tanks are already looking pretty cool. They will grow in and look even better in the future, but as they are, I think they're already a bit of a triumph, and I'm just really enjoying coming down here every day after work and relaxing, kind of pottering about, cleaning a few things, feeding the fish, watching their breeding behaviour. It's already proven to be a really relaxing space to be, and just little touches like these plants and having the air filter down here and keeping the humidity down do make a massive difference. So those are all things that you'll need to consider. Oh, the other thing to talk about, I suppose, is that I'm using a really cheap lighting unit down here. It's just a night crew light, and it kind of operates on a day-night kind of cycle if you want, but like I say, I just have it on a smart plug, so it comes on and off automatically, and I can control it with my phone. But I am finding it to be a pretty good lighting system. It's very cheap, a lot cheaper than the kind of fluval things down here, and I think that again kind of goes with the philosophy that I'm trying to achieve down here, which is, you know, let's try and do this on a budget and prove that it's possible to do on a budget. So some people might say they're rubbish lights, you won't get very good plant growth out of them. Well, that may be true. Let's find out. So far so good, I reckon. Things are growing quite nicely in there, everything's looking pretty healthy. The light itself is really, you know, nice. It's quite, you know, quite a lot of features in terms of what you can customize it. So you can customize the different settings. So you can have 4 save settings. You can also put it into kind of like nighttime mode, sunlight mode, cloudy mode, and you can even have it, yeah, like this, like a supposedly like a thunder and lightning mode, where it kind of flashes on and off. As if there's some sort of storm going on, like so. So yeah, I think you know, things like that are an example of what I'm trying to achieve down here. Let's not do this with a crazy budget. If I was going to get some lights that were fancy down here, I'd definitely buy them second hand. That's another thing that I'm really keen on, is buying things second hand. Hence all the filters that are in there that I got in a job lot for like 70 quid, like I said. But yeah, this whole basement is going to be done on a shoestring. And I will take you on that journey and show you how easy it is to do fish keeping relatively cheaply. Okay, I'm going to cut now to a bunch of footage from when this place was horrible. Enjoy.
Okay, so I hope that was kind of a useful update on what the basement looked like before and what it looks like now. Just wanted to very quickly show you this tank. This tank, as you saw in a previous video, was absolutely destroyed when I moved the apistos into the downstairs tank, because they were just hiding everywhere. But it doesn't really matter, because the plan for this tank is to give it a massive overhaul, as I mentioned earlier. This tank will become my Malawi Cichlid tank. And I'll get rid of all the plants out there. They'll go into the cube tank that I'm ordering. I'll reuse some of that wood and other escapes in the future. The only thing that's really going to stay in here is I'm going to push all that gravel back to kind of create a nice high kind of thing, and then add in even more sand on top of that gravel, and then loads of limestone rock, because I've got really soft water, so the limestone rock will hopefully kind of bring the water pH up a little bit, and yeah, make it a little bit harder, a bit more suitable for the Malawi cichlids. Yeah, but you'll see this in a future video, and I thought it was a nice sort of way of ending, showing you that it's looking pretty rubbish right now. And I'm very much aware that it's looking rubbish. And the next time you see this tank, hopefully it will have loads of yellow and blue mbunas in there, looking really cool, but also kind of really simple to upkeep, and I mean that I'm not causing an absolute mess up here all the time, and I can keep the mess downstairs. Okay, I'll leave you with a bit of showreel of some of the fish, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.